What is up, Facebook? It is 12 o'clock. It is time to start painting for positivity. So basically what we're doing, hold on, let me get in front of the camera so y'all can see. Okay, here I am. Okay, so we're doing painting for positivity. This is to just kind of get everyone's mind off the craziness that's happening. And a lot of our on-air talent, we're all doing certain things. And I just thought, why not paint? You know, painting is kind of meditating for me. And I know a lot of people are stressed out. So yeah, even if you're not like a professional painter, or if you've never painted before, I think this one today is going to be a little easy. So I've been a little homesick, and by homesick, I'm talking about living in Japan. Okay, here's what we're painting today. Ta-da! Like a little tree. It's really not that hard. This one probably took me like maybe 30 minutes to paint or so, maybe less than that. The only reason why it takes a while is because you have to have the paint dry and stuff. But anyway, okay, so we'll do that today. Let me get situated and then we will get started. Okay. All right. So what colors am I using? Jolina's using a bunch of colors. So I'm gonna start off with the background. Jolina made a mistake here, but that's okay. We're gonna patch that up. So what I did is I took a little mug, put it right here, traced over it. That's gonna be your sun. So I'm gonna start with the background first. You can use any type of paintbrush you want. I think I'm gonna use a flat brush. Okay. All right, here we go. So dark brown, light brown, have some black in there, and a little bit of pink. I think I wanna kind of blend that in, make it a really pretty background. Okay, let's get started. Let me move this. So when you're making a gradient, you kind of have to work really fast. And if you want the colors to blend and look really pretty, I'll show you how to do that. So I'm starting off with a lighter brown. And then I'm gonna kind of paint diagonally right here. So I'm starting off with the lighter color on top, but then I'm gonna go in and add some white there. So I'll make that a little lighter. Make sure you paint the sides. I have the Beatles playing because if you caught the morning show today, Dylan told me about this. So Paul McCartney's lyrics to Hey Jude sold for like $910,000 at an auction. Insane. So like this morning I've just been on this Beatles drive and just playing Beatles music all day. Okay. So remember that acrylic paint dries really fast, so you just want to keep going. Paint as fast as you can. I guess this is like another sort of speed painting like we did last time. Okay, now I'm gonna add some white. I dipped it in some white. And I'm just gonna go back and forth on my brush. Make sure that when you're working with a tarp, and make sure you have clothes that you don't mind getting dirty, because acrylic paint will stain and it is a pain to get out. It's almost impossible to get out if you leave it on there for too long. Okay. Just be very careful. So I actually don't have brown paint. How you can make brown is just by mixing orange and black, a little bit of black, and that's how you will get that brown color. So I think what I'm gonna do is just dab a little bit of the pink so I can have a pinkish tint to my background. So remember, it's a cherry blossom tree, so I kind of want that to reflect here too. I'm gonna add a little more white. You're like, that's such an ugly color. I know what you're thinking, but don't worry, it's gonna look good after. Hi, Raven. haven't seen Raymond in a long time. So the reason why I'm going around the sun right here is because I don't want to do so many coats. This is going to be red later. So this is just going to make the process a little easier. If you go over it, that's fine. Just around the edges. No big deal. A little more of the pink. Add some white. Remember, it dries really fast, so just keep going back and forth. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the darker brown, dip in that, and I'm not even washing my brush because I don't really care as far as the background goes. It's gonna be covered up with the trees. And I'm not even really using a lot of paint. And then if you need to, just dip back in there. Hey, Jimmy. Okay, see how there's this really harsh line? Whenever you do that, don't worry about it. We're gonna get another brush so you can blend that out. Okay, so I'm gonna get, using another brush, this is what's gonna help blend. And make sure you have a water cup with you, that way you can keep washing your brush off. Then I'm gonna use some of the white again. This is what's gonna help create that gradient. Okay. I'm gonna go back with my other brush, and then it's gonna go pretty dark right here, but I'm gonna keep using the dark brown. And make sure whenever you see some of the white gaps there, just go over it. The bigger the brush when you're doing a background, the faster the process is gonna go. So I'm gonna dip in some of the black when I want a shade darker, and then go back with the brown. Okay, so I'm gonna have to touch up on the brown. And like I said, you're just gonna use some orange and then a little bit of the black. Just a tad bit. Okay. Then mix it up. This is how I recycle my chopsticks. I use it as a mixer. Make sure it's completely blended. Looks good. And make sure you don't leave the sides white. It has to be covered. Now, the background doesn't really have to be perfect. Jennifer, we're actually doing something here at NewsWest 9. All of us are doing different activities, so that's why we're doing that. But there's still a lot of good news that's happening. By Faudrey? I don't know. I'll have to get my newsroom to check into. Actually, my digital girl just signed on, Kirsten. Something about sirens on Faudrey. That's what Jennifer's asking. Okay, get some of the black and keep blending. Okay, now I'm going to rotate the canvas just so I can get a good angle right here. Yeah, I'm off the clock. Jolina's off the clock, but you know, I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, so you see how it's kind of blending right here? Just keep doing that. I'm going to take some of the black again. And now I'm going to just add black right here. Oh, this is my jam right here. This is one of my favorite Beatles songs ever. Remember, y'all can contact us on Zipwhip or Zipwhip. Text us if y'all have if y'all maybe see something, y'all have questions, and you want us to check on something as far as news goes. Yeah, like this. I'm obviously not in the office, so okay. See right here, I don't like this. I'm gonna go over that. This is acrylic, Caitlin. I prefer to use acrylic just because it dries faster. It's up to you though. Oil does take a while to paint, but yeah, I've never painted with oil before. I just prefer acrylic. But yeah, like I was saying, this is all part of our social distancing thing. If you're new and you haven't seen this tutorial before, we're all doing different activities. Tatum Gwynn is reading stories every morning around 9:30. And then we have some of our Storm Tracker 9 meteorologist guys, aka Weather Boys, doing cool science stuff. I think it's 7:30, but we're just doing stuff on our NewsWest 9 page. you know, just fun stuff to just do activities with y'all. I've only used acrylic. Girl, same. Yeah, it's the best. Okay, going back in the brown. Blend it up a little bit right there. Okay. Not to mention, I like acrylic because it's cheaper too. And I just like how fast it dries. Okay, I think I'm content with that. Now I'm going to use my handy dandy hair dryer to speed up the drying process. Okay. So, going back to my water cup, I don't want this to get all dry and nasty with the paint still on it. So I'm gonna wash that off. Oh, and for those who are joining, this is what we're painting. This tree. So we're just starting on the background, and then we're gonna work on the sun, and then the tree. That's gonna be the fun part. Okay, so get the yellow. I'm gonna go over this in red after, but when I start out with a lighter color, this is gonna help blend. Caitlin, do you paint a lot? I'm trying to find some local artists in the community. I like seeing some of y'all's artwork too. We're actually getting a lot of pictures that y'all are texting us. That number should be in the comments, 432-567-9991. So even if you're not painting this and you're painting something else or doing other types of activities, go ahead and like shoot us a text message and then we'll air it on the Sunrise Show. Okay, so I don't want it to completely dry, but I do want it to get a little dry, so that way it's not, the texture gets kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but a little tacky, because it is acrylic. So I'm gonna go over that in a second. It really takes like a couple seconds to actually dry. And then actually I'm gonna use a different one. And make sure you're always washing your brushes in between. I use a towel to wipe off the excess water. You parent now? Girl, I understand. Props to all you parents out there. Being teachers, y'all are the new teachers. Y'all are the real MVPs. But you know what? You can be an art teacher too. But no, I understand. I understand. Okay, I'm gonna go in a little bit of the white because see some of the brown that's peeking through? I'm just gonna touch that up a little bit. How is the schooling going, by the way, for everyone who's been... I miss working. I usually sub, so I stay busy. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, I understand the feeling. Don't worry, we're all in this together. brushing up the edges a little bit. But you should totally paint, by the way. Yeah, and the reason why I always use the hairdryer is because whenever I do put my hand on this, I don't want this to get all over my hand and it's gonna make this huge mess. But okay, now I'm gonna go in the red, and now I'm gonna clean up some of the edges. It's a lot of paint. I'll wipe off the excess. So this sun is going to be mostly red. So I'm just going to clean up the edges right here. It might look a little pink on camera, but it's red. This part is probably what's going to take the longest, if I'm being honest. But don't worry, it's going to look good. Y'all are going to be artists. Okay, so I'm going to use the blow dryer. Because while it's still wet, you don't want to mess... Yeah, Yellow Submarine Mars. I love this song. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do another coat. Let me go back into the red. I love this song. It's like one of my favorite Beatles songs, but I feel like I say that about all these Beatles songs. Okay. I liked the Yellow Submarine when I was growing up. Same. Are you talking about the film, or are you talking about the song? Because I liked both. You know, like the Beatles actually, when I'm stressed out, I really like to listen to the Beatles. It helped me get through tough times in college. And I'm going to blend this and I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay. I'm going to tilt the canvas, rotate it on the side. Jolina made a mistake, but that's okay. We don't make mistakes when we're painting. What up, Trevito? Trevor Tankersley in the house. So it is looking harsh here, but we're going to blend all of that. So I do have some orange here, and then I'm going to dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Gonna use the blow dryer again. Okay, there's actually some pieces right here where the brown is peeking through, and that's really ugly. So I'm gonna go back in there. Hi, Donna! Thank you! You're so sweet. It's like really meditating. It really does kind of look like a Colorado, right? Like Colorado Sea. Okay, I'm gonna use that later. I'm so indecisive about what paintbrush I want to use, but here we go. I'm gonna do some of the yellow. I'm using a different brush, by the way. Okay, now I need some white. I'm gonna use some of the white to kind of go over these patchy areas. Keep going back home. That's awesome, Marcy. That's good. That's good. You're staying up to date. Okay, one more time. Okay, now I'm going to go back in the orange and start to blend all of this out. Okay, go back in the red. And so I'm going to cover some of that. And let me blend this part right here. It doesn't have to, if you don't know how to blend, that's totally fine. And you can just do this whole sun red or orange if you want. I'm thinking about doing a Beatles painting, like the more I listen to this. Okay, now it's starting to blend. Okay, I think I'm content. It is not perfect, but that is okay. Now I'm going to use my handy dandy blow dryer one more time. Okay, here's the fun part. It's the tree. And if some of y'all are joining us right now, I'm going to show you what we're painting. We're painting this. So we just got the background done, we did the sun, and now we're gonna start on the tree. So for this part, you can use any type of brush that you want. I think I'm gonna use, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one. Kind of has a tip to it a little bit. So it's a little wet, but just get the excess water out. And then you're gonna start with the black. Trees are pretty easy. With this type of brush, you kind of let the brush carry you away, and I'll explain. So I want my tree to kind of start on the side. And I want it to have a wider stump. And if you want to add like grass right here, you could do that. But I'll go over that in a second. So there's actually trees like this. They're called Japanese weeping trees. And the thing about those trees is they kind of have branches that droop. So I think I'm gonna have the tree curve a little bit. And see, it's not really defined. And that's what I mean, just kind of let the brush carry you. Like the more curves and crazy turns you have, then the better it is, I think. When are you opening your quarantine art gallery? Oh, that'd be funny. Honestly, like, I've turned my kitchen into an art gallery because I'm just putting all my canvases there. So that's where my art gallery is. Okay, so for this part, like I said, just kind of like let the brush carry you. I don't really have any specific direction in where I want this to go. And because it's a tree, you want to add more branches. And be light on your fingers too. That would be fun, wouldn't it, to have an art gallery? Once everything is all clear and good to go, and just have everyone's artwork that they did while they were in quarantine. I think that's a great idea. So with this brush, there is a little tip to it, and that's how, that's why I kind of prefer to use these ones whenever I'm doing tree branches. And then lightly lift it off, like this. So some of the branches, you want to make sure that they're wider when they're connected to the trunk. Okay, then I think I want another one right here. Love art. This is something I'd like to get back to doing in years. It comforts my anxiety. Yes, Esther, you're so sweet. Yeah, no, I do. I haven't actually painted in a really long time, so I thought that this was a really great way for me to kind of get back into it. I'm obsessed. I think I'm addicted now. So, yeah, it is nice, especially if you're someone who, you know, stresses out a lot. I like doing it. And honestly, I can paint all day. Hey, Lauren! Lauren's my producer. Yeah, when I was in college, I would paint for like an entire week. on just one painting. So, but it was nice. Like, I don't even mind it at all. So it's not really, it doesn't have to be perfect. Trees have different shapes. I think I'm gonna add a branch right here. Kind of push hard and then gently lift off. Lift off, lift up. And then I'm gonna add another one here. I kind of want it to cover the sun right here. And then I'm gonna add maybe one right here. Add a lot of branches, like go crazy for this one. Where else do I want to add one? I think I'll add one right here. And honestly, I feel like even if you're not, you know, confident in your painting, just keep painting and you'll get better over time. Some of the kids that I used to go to school with, they always, you know, they wanted to be really great artists, but now they're like the new Bob Ross. They're so good. And I don't want too much excess on there. Put some pressure, do some weird lines, and then lift off. Why do I keep saying lift off? Lift up. Lift up. Okay, I think I'm almost done. I'm just gonna add one more right here. Okay, I lied. I wanted more. I want some more branches. Okay, now I'm good. I'm content. Okay? All right. So I'm gonna wash this brush off. Hey, John. So I don't know if you could see it. There is some shine here. That's when you know the paint is still a little wet. Now the next part is touching up the tree branch. So for this one, if I can find it, here it is. I'm using this little brush, okay, small, and we're gonna add some highlights to the tree branches, and I'll show you how. Okay, so using a little bit of the white, I'm just gonna dab, and then I'm gonna wipe on the black, and that's gonna create this gray. I don't want too much paint on there, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. So you see how like this black kind of fades into this background? This is gonna add some of that definition. Okay. And then I'm gonna add just kind of like a little more. And so on the outline of this branch, I'm going to go back with my gray and then add small strokes, small ones. And as you move to the bottom, it's gonna get bigger. So keep dipping in the gray. And the paint will dry fast on the palette, so you kind of have to work a little fast. And then I think I'm gonna add some grass here. Just a little bit. And this is just gonna be upward strokes. Okay, going back. Okay, so since the sun is right here, I'm gonna add some of that gray to this branch right here. And I just do little straight lines like this. And then just make them smaller as you go up. Okay. I love the Beatles, Omega. Huge fan. And then the same thing here. And if you want to dab, just go ahead and dab. Dab. Okay. And then here too. And you can just tap a little bit, just tap. Okay, and this part I'm gonna go over that as well. And then right here. Okay, so it kind of comes to life because you're adding these highlights here. Let's see, do I need any more? Maybe up here. I was honestly like trying to choose whether I wanted to pick music that was fitting for this painting or just go ahead and choose a Beatles playlist, and I decided to go with Beatles because why not? It's a little relevant as far as the news today on Paul McCartney's lyrics selling for over $900,000. Insane! Okay, now this is gonna be the fun part. Make sure you wash your brushes. So you can either use a sponge if you want to do this, or if you want to use just a regular brush, you can do that as well. I think I'm going to use this one. So I want to make sure it's not wet. Okay, so here's how I do kind of the little cherry blossom stuff. It's not going to be precise, but just go ahead, dip a little bit in the red, and then tap. Okay, and then just kind of just tap wherever you want. And then dip in the orange. And then you're just gonna tap. Go back and forth. You don't want the colors to be uniform. Just put them where the branches are. Okay. The less you use, the better, so that way you can always go back in and add more flowers if you want. Flowers, leaves, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you see how I'm doing it? And I'm going to fill some of the gaps where the branches are. Cherry blossoms are really, really pretty in Japan. Like, if you actually see it in person, oh my gosh, it is so pretty. So I'm only using red and orange right now, just kind of dipping back and forth. And especially the branches that don't really have any leaves up there, just go ahead and dab. And I'm going to have some kind of fall down here. And if you want to put in some yellow, you can dip a little bit of yellow. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of add it to some of the sides here. So these are the darker colors, red, oranges, and then when you go, you're going to use some of the white and go back and forth. And for some of the white, this is going to create a lighter shade, so I'm going to tap that on the top. And so in front of the sun, I'm going to go a little lighter there too. I'm gonna add a little bit of the yellow. And that's what's gonna give you this really nice orange. Okay. Hi Betty, hi Peter, thank you. See, this is easy, y'all can do this. If you want, you can flick some. I want that painting. You want this painting? Well, you can make this painting. Okay, I think I'm almost content. I don't think I want to add any more. I mean, maybe. So that's really it. What else do I want to do? Do I want to touch up on the bottom? I might touch up on the bottom a little bit. So I'm going to use my flat brush. Go in some of the black. Kind of get a little bit of the white, actually. Just a little bit. Not any talent. You can do it. You got talent. Hi Tessa, thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of create this, actually, I need more black. So to make a grass, you just flick up. I wasn't gonna do grass, but I changed my mind, so here you go. And then I'm gonna kind of add that, then add a little bit of the white. Brush up. I'm gonna make it smaller as I go down. Here you go. You see, you got your own little cherry blossom tree. So, yeah, stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll do more stuff every 12 o'clock right here on our NewsWest 9 Facebook page. And aside from all the social distancing stuff we're doing, if y'all have any pictures or videos you'd like to send us so we can show everyone what you're doing as far as being creative for social distancing, you can text us, and we have that number down below. It's 432-567-9991. But other than that, hope y'all have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye!